What's going on, guys? Pokemon Radar here with another episode of Collectors with Cards Drinking Coffee. Today we have another guest in line here that I haven't had the opportunity really to get to know yet. I think we've done maybe one deal together. He's been in and out of E4 Discord voice every now and then, and he's actually talked very highly of some of my other closer friends. So I'm very excited to get to know Miracle Grow. Troy, how you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, doing fantastic. We were talking about this before. We're both kind of in this nasally stage of what might be or might not be COVID. So
pray it comes back negative, but
yeah. I mean, mine did. I don't know how much I trust it. So, still stay in quarantine as much as possible.
To be safe.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for those that don't know you, even myself, I don't know you that well. So let's get to know you together with all the viewers here today. Who's Troy? Who's Miracle Grow? Where are you from? How old are you?
So I am 19. I was born and raised in New Jersey, where I still live. I sort of got into Pokemon, I guess. We'll just jump right into that. I got into Pokemon when I was in 3rd grade, so I was like 8. I remember specifically when I was in 2nd grade, actually, my friend Ben showed it to me, and I was like, what is this Pokemon? That's stupid. I was still into Mario at the time. But later, I came around to it, and I was like, oh, Pokemon's cool. So my first game was Platinum on the DS.
Oh, wow.
And my first exposure to I know. It's pretty weird because I'm like young compared to a lot of other people. A lot of people are like late 20s. I'm like 10 years younger than
You're my youngest guest.
Yeah, probably. So different perspective maybe we'll see here. Yeah. But so Platinum was my first game, and I remember getting cards. It was like late Diamond and Pearl, Platinum, like that era also. At the bowling alley was the first time. They had like a vending machine, and like there were booster packs in the bowling alley, and I was like, I was there with my friends and my mom, and I was like, yo, Mom, can I get, a pack of Pokemon cards? And she's like, what? Like, I guess it was only like $4 or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I got one, and I was hooked instantly, right? So I was collecting cards. Like, I didn't get them too frequently. It was mostly like my grandmother actually would buy them for me like once a month or something. But I remember vividly in 3rd grade, at the end of the year, we would all bring our binders in and trade. So it sounds just like it was in the 90s. I mean, I wasn't alive then, but the excitement, just trading cards with the kids on the playground or whatever. I made friends through Pokemon, kind of, just meeting new people in elementary school like that. So yeah, it was a fun time growing up like that. Yeah.
Wow. You weren't even born in the 90s. That's crazy to think about. Do you remember what you pulled from that pack at the bowling alley?
That's tough. I remember. So the first card I got, actually, I guess my friend gave me one of his cards because he already had cards. It was a Skarmory, like an uncommon or something from one of the Diamond and Pearl sets. That's the first card I got. I remember that. I don't remember it was in the booster pack that I got, but yeah.
Wow.
So I do remember that.
Yeah, you're gonna do a little bit of schooling on me here because I know like nothing about that era of Pokemon cards.
I don't blame you.
I think I just got a Call of Legends box. Is that
Call of Legends is good?
Yeah,
it
might be from that era.
It was like Diamond and Pearl, and then Platinum, and then Heart Gold Soul Silver. And Call of Legends was on the tail of Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Okay.
That's like my main nostalgia. I started in the Platinum era, but then when Heart Gold Soul Silver was coming out, that's when I was like super into Pokemon. Okay. I was like reading online about it. So yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I actually just opened my very first Heart Gold Soul Silver base packs a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I pulled the Feraligatr Prime.
Nice. Those were a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I know those are starting to go crazy in price, but okay, so this is interesting. You got into Pokemon for the very first time in this Diamond and Pearl era.
Yeah.
Is that what the video game was as well? It was like
yeah, it was Diamond and Pearl, and then Platinum was like the yellow sort of, or the crystal to the silver and gold.
So what gen are we talking?
Silver. This is Gen 4.
This is Gen 4. Wow, so we could just completely skip Gen 3. Which I know very little bit about too, because I played a Ruby version, and I mean I remember Groudon, Rayquaza, and that stuff, but it was just like not what I was into. Um, so during this time, it was your one friend Ben who was into Pokemon. I mean, and this was third grade. So Pokemon was it was it big? I mean,
Yeah, that's the
was
thing. So
everybody
the what?
doing it? Like, because when I was in the '90s, the early 2000s, everybody was doing it. What was it like
So
then?
um, there were like a decent amount of us. I went to a small school, so it's hard to like say exactly. We had only like a couple hundred kids in the school, like a
Hmm.
small town. So it wasn't like literally everybody, like it sounds like it was for you guys, but out of 100 kids my age or something, I knew like 10, 15, maybe even 20 kids that were into Pokemon. So it was
Okay.
like decent, but that was definitely the low point of Pokemon. I
Yeah.
would say now there's more because like my little cousins, like I feel like all of them have gotten into Pokemon, and Pokemon seems like it's more popular with them. So it's like come back sort of, but that definitely probably was a low point, even though I wasn't really aware of it at the time.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, did you have like a local card store that you would go to then to get Pokemon cards, or were you picking them up at random bowling alleys all the time?
The bowling alley actually was one of my primary sources for a little bit, and then I realized that they were at Walmart. So
Okay.
that's the thing. I've been looking recently actually for card stores because it just sounds fun to go to them, and I'm not really aware of too many that are around here,
Oh
which is
man.
weird because like I'm in New Jersey. Like I feel like Cool Trainer Ryan, I'm pretty sure lives like pretty close to me, but
Okay.
I don't know. I just have to search more probably. But as
I'm
a kid, certainly there were no card stores that I was aware of.
Yeah, I mean, if there was any, he probably Cool Trainer Ryan and PokeRadar probably bought them all out. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, I mean, I kind of get that a lot. I've kind of learned that I'm lucky to still have the same exact store that I shopped at as a
yeah,
kid around, and it seems pretty consistent where the only card shops that are around are the card shops that people went to as kids or just gone completely because GameStops and Walmarts and all that just kind of killed them all.
yeah.
So,
The Walmart that I went to is still there, so
okay.
that's something. But yeah,
The nostalgic Walmart.
yeah,
That's kind of weird to think about. Um, so
that's where it was.
so these cards that you got into the Prime era, was there ever a time that you took off? I mean, a lot of us, stopped. So what was the era that you stopped at? Do you remember?
So I played every Pokemon game, like not every single one, but like when Black and White came out, I got White. I remember I played every one all the way through Sun and Moon, actually, I
Hmm.
think. But I got out of the cards like around late Black and White. I just stopped buying them
Okay.
because I have cards from my binder, I have like a hollow rare binder, even though like the level X and then the prime and everything were like the main cards. I always collected the regular hollow rares because
Really?
they're cool. I don't know. Um, but I that stopped at like black and white, like plasma kind of.
Mhm.
So I got out of it then, and then I ended up getting back in like around 2016. So it was a real short break. It's not like 10, 15 years or whatever like it
Mhm.
was for other people. It's like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
I think the power of social media and, of course, all the influencers getting into it kind of sped that process up that we
yeah,
went through.
yeah,
Um, so, wow, okay. You even like the hollows from then. The hollows that I open now, I just keep with all my bulk. Like, even from
yeah.
that era, too, if I ever open packs, I would just put the hollows in with the bulk, basically. So that's really
That like
interesting to hear.
I don't know. It like breaks my heart a little bit because when I like to know that hollow rares are bulk now. Like now I agree with you, but
Okay.
because you get like 8 hits in a box and then 4 regular hollow rares. But back then, like in the Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, there was a level X cards and there were like
Hmm.
1 or 2 per box. Like early it was 1 and then later it was 2.
Okay.
And then the rest were hollow rares. So hollow was like the most of it.
Mm.
And I remember like I had to treasure the hollow rares because I remember it took me a year to pull my first level X card, like ripping pack. Like I wasn't just like opening cases or whatever,
Right.
but like I remember on Christmas I pulled Absol level X from Supreme Victors. You probably don't even know what any of that is, but
I love Absol. Absol's a great looking
yeah.
Pokemon. Has a
Supreme
really cool
Victors is a
promo.
set with the Charizard
Okay.
level X.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what that one looks like. Okay. um, well, so that's I'm just thinking right now what it must have been like for kids in that era, and even rewinding back to like the kids during the Gold Star era, pulling a card like that. Like you're the only one in your friend group that would have one because most kids were getting, you know, a couple packs at a time here and there.
Yeah,
Not like you said, you're not getting cases, you're not getting boxes
yeah.
even to open and get a guaranteed one level X. Um, so that's
All of
pretty.
us had like one or two, maybe like three of those.
Mhm.
Those were the that was it. You know, those were like the Charizards in the
Yeah,
playground. Like the level X's, like if you're ready to trade your level X, like that was big. You know,
I was like, I'm out of
so
Pokemon. I'm done.
yeah.
Thank you
Or
guys.
you
We're
know,
out
I'm
of
getting
here.
a really good trade. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's really interesting. So
Yeah.
did you actually play the card game then with your friends? Did you have any brothers or sisters you were playing with, or was it just?
No, my sister is like younger than me, and she'd never really got into Pokemon. But we we didn't really know how the game worked at all.
Mhm.
But I guess I should mention that you know how like Charizard has the highest attack and the highest HP at the time.
Yeah.
So our version of that card was the Rayquaza level X because I had an attack that did 200 damage. We didn't know what
Oh,
200 damage meant for the game, but it was like the biggest number on any card. So we were like, this is the coolest card, you know? That one was a tin promo, luckily, so I did have that one.
okay, nice. Wow, this is really cool insight. Like I honestly haven't had a conversation like this with anybody of
Yeah,
your I
just
guess era of Pokemon.
yeah,
Um,
it's just all new info.
yeah, like I'm just I got so many questions. Um,
Yeah.
so now that I guess once you took that short break, right, and you came back into Pokemon, what was the thing that drew you back? Do you remember what the one thing was that brought you back?
So I remember I was scrolling on, I guess it was Reddit first, and I found like the Pokemon TCG community. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, you know, just scrolling through, and I saw that there was like the trading part and people like putting values on their cards, and something that I was aware of because like I grew up with the internet, so even when I was 10, I could see like card prices. I knew about like Troll and Toad and DA Card World
Mhm.
and stuff like that, but I wasn't like actually buying things. But like I saw and I was like, oh, like I could do this. And I started trading and buying and selling. I was like 15 or something. So this was in like 2016, I guess.
Okay.
Like trading, buying, selling, like my childhood collection, getting some of the more modern cards. At the time, this is like mid XY, I guess.
Mhm.
And I remember specifically the first thing that I bought back into the hobby was on Troll and Toad. They had booster packs of XY Ancient Origins. And I remember seeing them, they were $2.70 each or something like that. And I was like, what? That's crazy because before packs at Walmart are $4. $4 is a pack, you know, price for a pack. But I saw them like for 270. I was like, wow, this is dirt cheap. So I bought like 10 of them or something. And I ripped them open and I was like, it's over. Like I'm back into it. And yeah. You know,
Wow, that's so funny. XY Ancient Origins
it's
is
a good
what
set, in
did
my
it for you.
opinion.
Yeah. I mean, XY set is what brought back a lot of us, specifically
True.
evolutions.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's I just
That's what
I
it
just
was.
remember like seeing those packs and just having zero interest at all. That's really funny. I mean, and then you just mentioned Reddit, like it's the place to go for everything. Like, I mean, it is obviously, but I wasn't even looking at Reddit when I came back into it. It was old school, just YouTube, and I found the
Yeah.
E4 forum. Like forums is just
Yeah.
so old school. I feel
I
old
found
right now.
that. Don't worry, I've been on E4 since like 2017-ish too,
Okay.
so I was there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you started buying, selling, trading. Did you have any initial goals? Any initial collection goals, or it seemed like you were kind
So
of
I was just doing it just to do it, honestly. Like
okay.
I didn't really have anything specific in mind. I just saw like if I felt like it was a good deal or something, like I was like, oh, that's a cool card, so we'll just trade this one that I'm not really into.
Hmm.
And I started out only trading, and then I started selling too. So then I had a PayPal account where I definitely lied about my age, but you know I was doing some wheeling and dealing. And then eventually like that was like building a little bit because like I was definitely doing well for myself whether or not I realized it, like I building value. And then I found on YouTube this funny YouTube channel called SM Pratt, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I started watching his videos, and I was like, wow, like this is exactly what I was looking for. It's like Pokemon, but it's like not like just opening packs and going like, wow, this is crazy. It's
Hmm.
like business, sort of like serious stuff. So I watched his videos, and then I found E4, and then that's how I moved away from like buying and selling small cars, and then doing mostly just like bigger stuff, and then honing in on goals, more like
Wow.
that. So that took a
Gosh,
while.
dude, I wish I was 19 doing the big stuff. It took me forever to figure that out. Um, I mean, do you remember the type of money that you were dealing with back then, like when you first started? Because I mean,
I
a
remember
15-year-old, 16-year-old in high school, how much extra money are you making?
not much, but I remember the first card that I bought. I had flipped. I sold off. So actually, I should mention, to fund a lot of this, I ended up getting rid of a lot of my childhood collection, which I do kind of regret.
Yeah.
But there were some decent cards there that were like, it was a few $100s or something. And I got a PSA 9 Unlimited Charizard base set. And I don't really know why, because I didn't grow up with base set. And it's a cool card, but it's not like my favorite card. But I just bought one because, who doesn't have a base set Charizard? Me,
Right.
because I sold it by now. But at the time, like, I was just like, I'm going to buy one, right? And then later I bought a Gold Star Rayquaza PSA 9. That was a cool card that I liked because I never had one as a kid, because I was like just after the Gold Star era. So I would look back on those and I'd be like, man, why can't I, get those cards? Because they were even expensive at the time. Gold Stars have always been expensive.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting a Shadowless 9 Charizard in like 2017. I sold both of those, which I kind of regret, but whatever.
Part of it.
Yeah. I got the Shadowless 9 Charizard, and then I just sat on that for a while. And my plan was to build a full PSA 9 Shadowless set. And then I got like 4 cards, and I was like, wait a minute, this is way too expensive. I'm never going to be able to get like Chansey or, Venusaur or whatever. Raichu was really expensive at the time. And this is when Shadowless was like really starting to go crazy at the end of 2017. So I kind of got out of Pokemon again a little bit, but then I was like, I still had my cards, but I was just like not checking up with it as much.
That's the best way to do it. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
And that ended up being the best way to do it, because then when I came back earlier in 2020, I saw that Typhlosion 17 first edition was like $3,000 or something. I was like, what? Because I had one and it was ungraded. I got it for like $50, and then I sold it for $1,000 ungraded. I took pictures of it. It was like the price of a PSA 8 at the time. So like if it 9's, good for you. If it gets an 8, then it was good value. But I just sold it raw for $1,000, and now here I am again.
Wow. Okay. So the big money brought you back in.
Yeah. As bad as that sounds, it's true.
No, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, my collection is this big. The rest of it's for sale. So, that's just what a lot of us do. I mean, the whole conversation of true collector versus flipper. I hate it. I mean, I absolutely hate it. It's people do what you want to do, collect what you want to collect, and have fun with it. We're enjoying the same space, the same. It's Pokemon. We're having fun. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
So
you do both.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the reasons that I know you, I guess, you kind of helped middleman a pretty big deal, right? My PSA 6 Tropical Wind, 1999 Tropical Wind, I had for sale. Which
I have my own copy here.
Yes.
I sold the Shadowless Charizard to get this, but we could talk about that later.
Okay. Well, no, we'll talk about it now, because that's actually your little image or whatever for Instagram. You know the correct term. I'm a boomer.
The profile picture.
Profile. Oh, okay. I thought there was a different one.
I don't know.
Beautiful card. S. Pratt just recently started hyping it up again. It's his favorite card, so it's understandable. And yeah, I had. It's funny. I still follow him on Patreon because I think it's valuable for anybody, even though I'm technically kind of a competitor of his now. I remember him saying a while ago, buy these things at under 5K, no problem. I did that. I got that PSA 6, and then I got the medal, the TMB medal that came with it, which is actually
that's so cool.
I still have that. I like that more, personally. And it just sat at 5K for like months and months and months. I was like, come on, when is this going to happen? And then it finally upticked because like a PSA or a Beckett 9 sold on PWCC for like 25,000. So I had that for sale for a while. You kind of hooked up the middleman deal. I ended up doubling my money on it, which was great. And now here we are again. It's getting talked about some more. So I think it's going to continue going up in value because it's just the conversation.
Yeah, I think so too.
What'd you pay for that for?
So it's funny that you mentioned the BGS 9 that sold, because apparently not a lot of people noticed, but this one was also for sale on the same night.
Oh, that's
3 seconds earlier or whatever. This went for $6,000, and I remember, like, I was like, this is insane. Like, this is the craziest like deal that I'm ever going to get in my entire lilife for Pokemon, which I hope it isn't. I hope the good deals keep coming. But this one was just like, I couldn't believe it, because I remember before it came up for auction, I messaged eBulb. You've had him on the show, and like Bulbasaur
twice.
Yeah, he's a great guy, awesome. I love him.
He'll be on a third
And
time soon.
ooh, nice, nice. Yeah, I'd love to hear about his collection sale. That was cool. But anyway, I messaged him just cause, out of the blue, because I didn't really know how to talk. I didn't want to publicly advertise like, hey, I'm going to be bidding on this card,
Right.
everybody. But because he already has one, so I messaged him and I was like, do you think like 8,500 is going to cover this? I didn't even need it. It was like 6,000. But yeah, I think it was a great deal. And this card means a lot to me because it's super rare. It was given out at the Tropical Mega Battle, which is like the first like international tournament, or it was given out at the Japanese regionals that qualified for the Tropical Mega Battle, but whatever.
Yeah.
And the artwork is awesome because it reminds me of when I was a kid. We would go to like me, my nuclear family, like my mom, dad, and my sister, and then my grandparents and my uncle. We would rent like a beach house every summer for a week,
Oh.
and we would all be like cooped up in like a little beach house. And this just reminds me of it for some reason, like the tropical vibes. So I don't know. I just like it a lot.
So
Yeah.
you sold your Shadowless 9 Zard to get
Yes.
that. So what did the
Yes.
basically same amount? Did you sell it for $6,000 or did you get more?
It was basically the same amount.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it was recent because I used the PWCC. They have like a system where you submit a card as like collateral, and then they'll sell it for you in order to pay for this. So I sent the Zard in when it was still like 15,000 or something, but it had to wait until the next block, and then it sold for 9,000.
Okay.
But the buyer didn't pay, so then it sold on the next block for 6,000. So that hurt, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was like I made 6 times my money or something in 3 years on that card, and I got a great card to go with it. So I mean, whatever,
Yeah, that's one big thing that I'm very adamant about only selling my cards. No trades. But I'm starting to see all these trades that E-Bulb's been doing, and and how well he's done because he's traded cards basically in that fashion instead of just buying and selling and buying and selling. But doing trades can actually be quite valuable if you do it right. So
kind of. In my case, I think it actually hurt me because because I literally just don't have that much money because I'm in college, and but I did it. I used their system, the trade system, because I just don't have that much money. If I had sold it on my own terms, I just put it up on my eBay, I probably could have got like 15 for it that month. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah, you live and you learn. But yeah, like you said, either way,
it's opportunity.
Yeah, you got that amazing card, and to be honest, when you get that kind of money in, it could go pretty fast. So I'm sure if you had sold it, you might have lost your mindset on what to actually get and end up spending it all on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, something like that.
So, yeah, you're in college now. Are you working? How are you are you still able to fund a little bit of Pokemon collecting, or is it just mostly moving around pieces slowly and building?
That's more what it is. I'm not working right now. I do some like flipping cards. Like I have a bunch of cards I need to get graded, and that's going to be nice for me. But I'm kind of on like a dry spell of buying recently because I've sold off all my Shadowless 9s, like the few that I had. Like I sold Machamp for $1,000 at the peak, which I don't think that card's going to sell for that much again for like another year or something. But that's been funding me, but I'm like running on fumes for that because I can't just keep buying massive cards like that every so often. But yeah, I'm mostly just flipping cards to keep it going right now.
Yeah, very good. I mean, that's what I'm doing, and yeah, I'm playing with fire too because the flips started the same. We all started with $10 flips, $20 flips, and it kept on growing, and now I'm doing $50,000 flips, and it's driving me nuts, dude. It's so stressful, but it's so much fun, and
it is fun.
I'm keeping an eye out now for another one of those tropical winds. I think I don't think we'll ever see one in that condition again, or like an 8, 9, 10 condition again. And people are just so ready for them. So it's just so competitive now that it's becoming stressful. So I got to figure out a new avenue, a new way to make some money here. But
it's tough. These cards are hard to find. Like if you find them, you're good. But if you can't find them, it's like it's hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, there's one sitting on I think Mercari, Japan right now. Looks like it went through the washer, but it's sitting. It's been sitting there for 9,000-10,000 for the past 6 months. So
it might get bought soon, honestly.
It's getting closer and closer to that point of maybe just pick it up. I mean, a Gold Star Play Promo Espeon just sold for $7,000, and it literally
Yeah.
had like a rip in the middle of it.
Yeah, I
It was
saw that one. That one was rough, but
yeah. I was actually bidding on it. I was hoping to get it for like 3,000 because I just figured it'd be a great card to have. But I guess people had that same thought and were much more bullish than I was on it. Yeah, wow, it's incredible to see what's happening.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, at some point these high graded copies of these cards are truly going to be unattainable by the masses. So
Mhm.
um, the people that have, I guess, the foresight or the balls to buy a PSA 4 or whatever, um, I think I think that's a great idea. I think it's a great plan to have that card. So
It feels like a good idea right now. It
yeah,
does.
yeah, we'll see what
So
happens in the future.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That's all we can do.
But yeah, I mean, you got plenty of time. Much, 10 years more than I do probably. That you can wait for that card to just continue going up and up and up. And obviously, with school, hopefully your focus shifts to that, and then you can get a nice career and really start buying some nice stuff. Because that's where a lot of us really made our moves, right? We got out of college, got our first job, had some income to spend, and that's where it just went downhill, and we just spent all of our money on Pokemon
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah. I have my eyes like set on like some, this trophy card, that trophy card, down the road eventually, but
Yeah.
I have to get a job first and I have to do well in school, so,
Right. Right.
it's time.
So I want to touch on this comment you made about how you're nostalgic towards the Diamond and Pearl era and these hollow rares. How do you feel about those being a potential investment?
So there are definitely some good ones. Like if you include Heart Gold, Soul Silver in that, because it's all Gen 4. Heart Gold, Soul Silver, in my opinion, is criminally underrated. And I don't even buy it. Like I just have what I had as a kid, and that's
Mm-hmm.
it. Like I'm not buying it or anything, but it's like people are just sleeping on it so bad because some of the hollow rares and or just any of the cards in Heart Gold, Soul Silver are insane. Like they just look so good. They have like the whole theme, like the rustic gold and silver borders going on, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the art style reflects that sort of like older Japanese style, and it's just so good. Like I just don't understand how people aren't talking about it more. But I mean, I like them a lot. I don't know. I love my binder. They all look nice together on a page. It's just nice.
Have you talked to your old buddy Ben about this stuff at all, or is
A
he
little bit, yeah. I've
okay?
talked to all my friends that have Pokemon, and I've talked about like I said I would buy their collections if they wanted money or something, but they haven't sold anything to me, which is probably smarter, honestly, because
Yeah,
the cards aren't worth like they're not like base set yet, they're
right,
not like WotC coming into their own.
right. So would you consider then, while you're flipping cards here, to set some money aside to slowly start picking up some more of these Heart Gold, Soul Silver hollows to speculate on?
Maybe I mean I don't know. It's tough. The things that I'm more buying now are like the illustration Charizard and the Pokemon Center Pikachu promos and stuff like that. Those are the
Mhm.
things that I feel more comfortable buying like immediately for
Mhm.
like a short flip or even just to hold longer because I just feel more comfortable buying those. Like Diamond and Pearl is like I feel like it's like high risk, high reward
Mhm.
potentially because those things it's like it could just be like I'm the only idiot who came back to Pokemon for my generation and like nobody else wants them, right? Or it could be like the EX series. EX series like the Delta Species hollows are like a few $100s each or whatever in good grades.
Mhm.
So I mean I honestly don't know. I can't tell you.
I think you need to sit down and really think about that one. I mean,
Yeah.
I could tell that you do follow S and Pratt quite loyally here. I mean, what he says usually does work out. He's a smart guy. Um,
I
and
agree. He is really
and the
really
whole
smart. Yeah.
yeah, Japanese promos is really, again, how have people not picked up on it yet? I mean, a lot of us
Yeah.
have, but how have the more people not picked up on it?
Yeah. I
Um,
agree.
so yeah, I mean, I think that's a great path to continue following, but I would honestly really look into that and see how you truly feel about that era of cards, and if there's a potential uh, more than a more of a low risk, high reward situation. Because I mean, we all said the same stuff about. I mean, we never said it about like gold stars particularly, but the hollows from those sets, there
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of conversation about it, and those are popping off. The primes, I mean, those I think are a little kind of overrated at the moment because I think a lot of them are out there and just not graded yet.
I agree
Um,
with that. Yeah.
but you know, it's going into these, just the simple fact that the pack prices, the box prices now, there's got to be some give on those hollow prices, right? So yeah, I would sit down and think about that one, see how truly nostalgic you are about those, and maybe go with your gut a little bit. Start picking up a couple of them, especially the cool ones, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
so,
worst comes to worst, I have a binder full of like 9, 10 candidates of them.
oh,
So, because I kept my cards in good condition
oh,
when I was a
okay,
kid, I made sure to do that. Yeah.
all right, yeah. I just
So,
kind of figured you destroy them like the rest of us, but
nah.
okay.
See, because my dad was a collector, he did baseball cards, and now he does vinyl records. You can see him right here.
Oh,
But so he like when I started getting into Pokemon, he didn't like understand it. He was like, "What are these like cartoon characters?" But he knew like the cards. He was like, "Keep those in good condition. It's probably gonna be a good idea."
oh.
So, yeah,
Did
foresight.
did your dad ever get you into try to collecting vinyl or baseball cards, sports cards at all?
I know a little bit about baseball cards. I've actually helped him grade some of his old baseball cards. He had
Mm.
a shoot, what did he have? He had a Johnny Bench rookie card. That's probably the best card he had. But
Okay.
other than that, like he didn't really try to force it on me too much because he saw like Pokemon. It's like we can't have two expensive hobbies, you know. So just leave him with that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, was his hobby ever like did he ever have intentions of buying and selling, or was he just like collecting like normal collect like
So he did baseball when he was like in his teens. He only collected baseball. He still has the cards and he'll like bring them out and like look at them sometimes or whatever.
Mhm.
But he only really collected in like the 80s in the junk wax era. So most of his stuff isn't worth a ton of money except the cards that he got that were like from just before when he started collecting.
Mhm.
Um, and then the vinyl records is a more recent thing. He'd probably start doing this within the last like 2 years or so.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
because my dad did coins and still does do coins. Like
yeah,
he messes around with it, but it's more of just like a silver investment because he just watches silver prices go up and down, right? He's got a few vinyls and stuff as well. He's got some like original Michael Jacksons and um, but what I've kind of picked up from him, he just seems to be like just a collector, a hoarder. Like I've never
yeah.
really like he buys and sells some coins here and there again, but just based off the silver value, he's not like getting coins graded or anything like that. Um, so I mean, we always, yeah, we would buy sports cards and stuff back in the day and even Pokemon, but he never really like, he always pushed us towards the sports cards because that's what he enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what we enjoyed as well, probably more so because we were an athletic family, I guess. So we were always playing basketball and stuff. But yeah, we never had that foresight, that intuition to keep our Pokemon cards in good condition or set some aside. Um, but yeah, so what's gonna be the do you have a collection goal? I mean, you said you have your eyes on a few trophies, but that knowing is down the road. Do you have any I guess obtainable near term goals that you're chasing?
I don't know about near term, but I guess I could talk about one of my big eventual collection goals because it's kind of like an intersection of what we've been talking about. We have the Gen 4 stuff and then
Mhm.
the trophy cards. So what's better than a Gen 4 trophy card? I don't know if you can
Oh,
really see it on
what
here.
is that? The
Mysterious
pearl?
Pearl.
Okay.
Yeah. So my goal is to eventually get the Pearl's relatively common. It's still a very rare card, but it's
Yeah.
like more common than the other ones, you know?
Yeah.
My goal is to eventually get the Diamond and the Platinum to go with them, but I
Okay.
don't know. Those are not easy to find. Those are
No.
stupid hard to find, especially the diamond. It's weird because like the platinum only has like 30 copies because it was like the national championship,
Yeah.
and then the diamond was like a battle road thing, so it probably has closer to 90 copies. But you
Hmm.
see the diamond less than the platinum for some reason. So
Yeah. I think isn't there
I don't
one
know.
available right now for like 28,000? I think it's a platinum. I don't
There,
know.
yeah. On the website where the key sold recently,
Yeah.
yeah, they have a square. They have a. It's like a little bit damaged, I think,
Is it really?
maybe.
Is
But
it a platinum?
there's a platinum there. There is
Okay.
a platinum there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the $28,000 one. I've never understood those. I mean, I even bought a scroll. I already sold it. I just don't understand it. It's a pretty card, but and I get it. There's a Pokemon on these Diamond, Pearl, whatever. I can appreciate the scarcity, the rarity of the cards themselves, but they're just not for me. Like, it's not a Pokemon. Like I don't understand it.
I hear that. for the scroll especially, there are a lot of scroll haters. There are
Yeah.
scroll lovers and then there are scroll haters.
Yeah.
Like this, I feel like people just don't have an opinion on it because nobody has one pretty much. But
Right. Right.
it's not like talked about, you know. But everybody's either like, yes, Master Scroll is the best card, or no, it's the worst card. It's stupid. It shouldn't be worth that much. Which
Yeah.
you know, I don't really care about it either
Teach
way.
their
I
own.
think it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I just really want a Mysterious Pearl Black Label so I can have the Black Pearl. I think there is one out there.
There's a platinum black label. I know that.
Is it
for
platinum?
Sure.
Okay. So then I got to
Yeah.
find a Pearl and get a Black Label so I can be the Johnny Depp, the Captain Jack Sparrow of Pokemon. That's my goal. I'm not actually really trying for that. If it happens, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those pearls are going up. From what I've seen recently, they're shooting up in price too. I mean, they're like $5-6 grand raw at this point, at least in
Yeah.
in Japan. What grade is that one?
Mine's a PSA 9. So
Fantastic.
I guess I could talk about it a little bit when I got that.
Yeah.
So I was looking at getting it even a couple years ago, but it was like $400 at the time. I was like, oh, I don't want to spend $400 on it. Stupid, of course, now, but
Right.
at the time, I didn't really have that kind of money. So, but when I came back to the hobby this year, there were a couple that were on eBay, and then Goy Goy from the Discord, he bought one of them for like 1,300. It was a PSA 9, and I was like, oh man, like that now there's none available. But there was one in Japan, and it had like awful pictures, and it was like $1,100 raw, which is like unheard of. Nobody pays $1,000 for a Mysterious Pearl raw at the time. This was back in like May, June, and I was talking to Crispy from the Discord,
Yeah.
and he was like, he sent it to me actually, and he was like, yo, you should probably get this because I'm gonna buy it and flip it soon if you don't, because I had mentioned that I wanted one. So shout outs to him for helping me get it. But
Nice.
I ended up buying it raw from Japan, $1,000. I sold my Shadowless 9 Blastoise to fund it. And then, it came in and thankfully got a PSA 9,
Yeah.
which is crazy because now a Beckett 9.5 recently just sold for $7,400, which is nuts.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's where it is.
Isn't it? Yeah. Isn't it crazy how stupid we are? I mean, who spends $1,000, let alone on a Pokemon card, but on a card that you can't even tell what the condition is? I mean,
from a 12 feedback seller in Japan.
It's crazy.
It's like
I bought that scroll. $10,000 for the scroll, no back pictures, only a front picture. Ended up getting a 9. The Kangaskhan that I bought for $25,000, there was a couple blurry pictures. Like, we're crazy. Pokemon people are the craziest that I know. We're just insane.
Buying from Japan is so like, it's weird. Like, there's nothing else like it. It's just like you just throw money and you just hope it gets here.
It's the biggest adrenaline rush ever.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. That's why we can make money doing this and you can find good deals, is because we're literally throwing money out the window and hoping a card shows up at our front door.
Yes.
In a good condition at that too. So, I mean, we'll see where that goes. I think it's slowly advancing to a point where the sellers in Japan are getting a little bit smarter, posting better pictures. Obviously, buyers here are getting smarter and getting things in place to be set up quicker. But it's still a huge challenge for us all. So, wow. So you got some pretty big cards then. You've got your Win, you've got your Pearl. What else do you have?
I have a little stack of my favorites right here.
Sweet.
I have a Grand Party 9, which I bought instead of the Mysterious Pearl for like a couple $100, because the Pearl was like 400. And then the Grand Party was like 200 in PSA 9. And I was like, all right, whatever, I'll just get a Grand Party. Now that card's like almost $2,000 or something stupid like that. So,
it's a beautiful card.
Being a good purchase.
It deserves it.
Grand Party is like,
I had a 10, I sold it. I have a CGC.
They're not that hard to get. Like in terms of price, they're getting up there, but like there was always a few available. It's not super rare.
But the raw ones are expensive now. It's like $1,000 each minimum.
They're getting hard to find in Japan too. So I don't know. Yeah.
What else?
I have a
You have any English cards that you like?
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? Because I was looking at my collection the other day and I was like, I just don't have any English cards. I don't hate English or anything, but I do think Japanese is better for collecting just overall. This is like the only English card I have in my collection. Is
there we go, the staff. 2019. Did you go?
Yeah. No. See, that's the thing. I should have gone to Worlds because DC, that was in DC that year, right?
Yeah. It's like 2 hours for you.
Yeah, exactly. I could have just hopped on the train and went down, but I was a kid. I think I was 17 still.
Yeah.
And it's I wasn't super into Pokemon at the time. That would have been cool. I would like to go to Worlds, but now like the next one's going to be in London and I can't really fly when I'm still in college. I mean, I could, but
it's a very expensive trip. No, I mean, I highly recommend going to Worlds, but do it when you can. I mean, it's always going to
Yeah.
be there. I say that, and it wasn't there last year. It probably
Yeah,
won't be here this year.
exactly. Yeah.
But realistically, it'll always be there, or at least some type of event. I know that there's going to be collector events. There's going to be some sort of Pokemon Expo that gets created. It just has to be with what's happening with the mania, and
I agree.
especially once we're able to these restrictions get lifted and things hopefully get back to normal. People are just going to be itching to get together and show off their stuff and do
Yeah.
this. So, that's now that I think of that, this bubble that we're in, which I do think we're in kind of a bubble. Without that, what I just talked about, what I just said, I kind of had this 2-year picture of, we'll do pretty well for a while. But now that I see that there's going to be an opportunity for everybody that's been doing this during COVID to want to get together and meet up and show off their stuff and trade, kind of have a feeling it's going to keep on going even longer.
Yeah, it's gonna like reignite the spirit or something. Like get
Yeah.
people to like keep going. Like, because when you see other people like with new cards and stuff, like you'll be like, oh, that's cool. I want to collect that. And
Yeah.
that'll probably boost it, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't think about that till now. Wow.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
if Worlds is in like New York or Boston or Philly or something like that, I'm there 100%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I really, it's now that they finally took that step to go international over to London, I really think that they're gonna do what they can to get one in Japan, like after that. I mean, because they've had so many in the U.S. and I don't truly know the numbers behind their business and how big the U.S. actually is versus everyone else. But I think to some point that they have large market shares kind of spread out fairly evenly. I don't know, but
I feel like US is probably I feel like it's always a good place to have it.
yeah,
I think I mean I'm biased because I live here, right? But
right.
it was always like US and Canada, and it seems like it went like fine just going back and forth
Hmm.
for a while. But I guess there are definitely fans in Europe, so London makes sense. Maybe doing Brazil, Japan,
Mm,
things like that. I
yeah,
mean, we might not see it in the North America for a few more years because of that if they really start doing it international. But
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be fun though. Definitely, yeah, definitely looking to try to save up for the next one. Even if it is in the U.S., trying to get to wherever it is, California, it's totally worth it. And
Yeah.
you already are very, I guess, business minded and can do the flipper thing and understand that market. So there's plenty of opportunity going to these worlds to really make it pay for itself. I mean, picking up those staff cards,
These help, yeah.
yeah, those help greatly. Even the backpacks or the mats or the exclusive stuff sold at the pop-up shops, like there's plenty of opportunity to pay for your trip. I mean, it just kind of takes away a little bit from the trip, but a lot of us are doing that, so you can do it together, and it
Yeah.
makes it a lot of fun. Um, and typically, we're all pretty good about it. Like if you get your group of people together to go find this stuff, it's like, all right, we all get one of the staff, and then it's
Yeah.
free reign from there. Like get as many as you can. Um, so it's always fun. It's competitive, and it's all in good spirit. So um, yeah, I'm really interested to see how the next one goes with trophy cards,
Oh yeah.
because the fact that those have really blown up now. What's gonna happen? How deep are the pockets gonna get for those? Are any kids gonna sell it? Are their parents smart yet to not tell or to tell them not to sell it?
Yeah.
Um,
Because we were just talking about that on Discord actually, and like in the text channel, like a few hours ago when I was at the doctor's office.
oh, really?
Somebody mentioned Worlds trophies, and those are like, in my opinion, those are like people just don't know what they're worth anymore
Right.
because they only trade hands privately. Like I can't even think of the last one that was actually for sale on eBay. Like, because some people have like show listings or whatever, but
Hmm.
like they're just like, and people are offering like, oh, $10,000 for a number 4. Like you're not going to get one. Like that's unfortunate, but like
Right.
some of these, like the number 1 that was just on Facebook, I don't know if you saw that recently, but
Hmm.
that thing like people were offering on it. It was like 20, 30, 40,
Yeah.
$1,000, and those are like out of reach, but I feel like people don't realize they're out of reach yet,
Right.
which is unfortunate for people who want them. But it's
Yeah. Myself.
maybe at the tournament it's not going to be that bad, like buying directly from the winners, but buying from collectors, like they're not what people think they're worth.
Right. And that's the thing. Like at this point, are the winners smart enough to realize that yet. Because, like you said, the highest public offers that have been sitting out there for years is 10 to 15,000, depending on the number, and that is just criminally low.
Yes,
I think the people that it kind of goes both ways, because the people that really want them and want to collect them and see the opportunity there were very conscious of not putting out public offers above that, because they know that it would just keep on climbing. So
it's like competing with yourself.
yeah, it's a very tricky niche of buying and selling, because yeah, no one really knows what their value is. For those that have dealt in trophy cards a lot, like I've been getting asked like crazy, what are these? Like a ton of people have been asking me what certain trophies are worth, because no one, like, you don't really know. And what I say is just a guess. I'm just comparing it based off of other trophies, based off of the
Yes.
availability, based off of the distribution and the grades, and it's a really complicated, very complex just situation with these trophy cards, and it's interesting. I know that some are finally getting picked up by big influencers, so I don't know if they're going to keep moving quietly or what. But the second that those start getting out more to these Gary V types, I'm curious to see what happens.
Like if people start showing them off more.
Yeah, because I'll definitely have the same regrettable conversations all the time about, I shouldn't have sold the kings plural that I've sold, all that stuff. So yeah, man, there's so much like opportunity still, but it's so competitive because it's just quiet. Like people are smart.
Yeah, it's true. People that have cards are pretty smart. Like the people that have a lot of the trophy cards are pretty strategic. But one thing I want to say about the World's Trophy cards is that I think the reason they sort of behave like they do is because they're still making them. Like there's still going to be trophy cards, except this past year, and then maybe this year coming up. We'll see. But the idea is that they're still releasing these cards. Like this card, it's done. Like there's no more of them.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that exist are either with collectors, they're with the original owners, they're thrown out in a garbage can or whatever, which would be tragic. But they're still releasing Worlds cards, the trophy cards every year, and it's like the same card. Like I know people value like the 2014 one more because it's like the first full art, and like the 2004 is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really it's the same card every year. And since they're still coming out, like the awareness has to be kept at like a certain level, because you can make a public offer for this one and it's like either you get it or you don't. But if you start putting public offers out, I'm pointing to my tropical wind. But if you start putting public offers out for trophy cards, it's like, what if like the player that ends up winning sees that the offer is higher and then they start turning down like lower offers,
Mm-hmm.
So, and it, like in a way that sounds kind of bad, because like you're trying to like minimize the amount of money that like the winners are getting, but it's good for yourself if you're in the market for buying those, because you want to like keep the prices low in that way.
Right.
Does that make sense? What I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, that's how the world works. I mean, I'll be honest, like I'm pretty sure that I caused some sort of price increase in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Like I had no clue that would happen, but looking at it now, the market is so small for it that someone with 1,000 views a video can make some changes. Like it's so like, yeah, that can happen in anything, especially a niche market like the trophy cards, which is not going to be niche for long. But yeah, all it takes is one more sale. I mean, that's what we've seen with the sales that I've made. It just takes that whoever's willing to take that next step is going to lose out on 20, 30, 40%.
Next step. Yeah.
Exactly. And it happens. It can happen the day right after, because people, I mean, they get that FOMO and they jump on things instantly. And it's a very weird emotional market.
Yeah. We saw that with Trophy Kangaskhan. I think that was the best example of that recently, because like that card dried up faster than I expected.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't really engaged, but I remember like in 2016, 2017, there were like people getting copies of them. And then it seems like when I came back, it was just gone. Like there's no more of them.
Yeah.
And there were people offering like $10,000, $20,000 for even like played copies, like a PSA 4 or something like that. And I remember Ebulb made his trade public on the forum. It was $80,000 valuation for the PSA 10.
Right.
And then only a few months later, there was one on PWCC. It was Color's copy, right?
Yep.
And it went up. It shot up. It almost doubled, like 80 to 150.
Yep.
And then another one sold for 150 right after that. So like, I don't know. Like these cards are just like explosive, I guess, in the way that they're like quiet for a while and then one goes up for sale. And I knew that Kangaskhan that went up for auction was going to do 100. There were people that were, there were probably people that were saying like, oh, it's not going to do 100. I was like, what? This is card easily breaking 100.
Yeah.
I didn't even think it was going to go to 150. I was like, but it just shot up because people don't know. They're not aware of like the deep people that are looking to snipe that one card when it finally comes up. So that's what happened,
Yeah, it's really interesting to see. And I remember, Swellpoke and I were just looking for Kangs because he had bought a raw copy from Pokeno. Ended up getting a 6, unfortunately.
Really?
And he sold it for like 30,000. Well, actually, prior to that, I bought a 7 for like 16,000. Sold it a month later for 27 on eBay. And then when that happened, people started looking for Kangs. And between like the next couple months, Swellpoke and I had bought like 2 or 3. And I eventually ended up with that 9 and then finally recently sold it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I sold it for 73,000. I shipped it out
good.
Today, actually. And yeah, I mean, it kind of followed suit perfectly with that 10. You went from a Heritage Auction 9 that sold for roughly like 40, 42 with buyer's premium. Yep. And then, so kind of a very similar trajectory of increase, but based on that 10. So,
and it's kind of tough, like as an owner of a trophy card, because you made great money on that. You made $40,000 on that or whatever, right? 30, I don't know, whatever. But that's great. But you are like that sale that like popped it up, and like the next sale could be another like crazy pop up because people are like, oh my God, it's like $70,000 now. Like I really got to be ready to bid on this next one. So, I mean, are trophy cards just going to keep doing that forever and ever? Like, I don't know, but it seems like that's sort of the trajectory that they're on. And then like, I don't know, it's tough because if you want to make good money on a sale, then you're going to have to be okay with being like the springboard for the next sale. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And that's how I've felt all 2020. And I mean, as you do that, you lower your opportunity or ability to get another one. I mean, when I was selling the first trophy Kang for 27,000, I was like, oh, well, I can find a raw for 20,000 and be okay with picking that up and taking another risk. But now it's a raw copy is 65,000, and if I get a 9, I barely break even. If I get a 10, it's a huge win, but that probably won't happen. And if I get anything less, I'm losing money. So for now. Yeah, I mean, before it was, you could just, I mean, it was a short period of time. I say this like it was always. There's always these short periods of times for specific things, like either whether it's sealed product or a trophy card or whatever. There are short periods of time that if you find it, it's just a win-win situation when you buy it. I mean, obviously, we've seen prices go crazy up and down recently a lot more. So now it's a little riskier where you can't have that same confidence. But there's always small little slivers of time that you can have opportunities like that where it's really like just a win-win situation. So I'm waiting for that next opportunity. I'm getting a little itchy to pick up the next thing, and I just don't know what it is.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is. This whole thing is just adrenaline to the max, and I'm having a great time with it. I'm glad to see that. I mean, there are so many more like younger people like yourself that are learning this and understanding it so quick. And once you're able to take that and use this knowledge that you're gaining into other aspects of your life as well, like it's going to do wonders for you. So I wish that I was 19 and on top of this stuff. I mean, I think I was 5 years later, 24, which is still super young compared
still pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And man, I wish you the best of luck on your future endeavors here. I hope you can get all of those mysterious gems.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully.
yeah.
Actually, that's an interesting point that I guess I should talk about because I'm in school for finance right now
Okay.
and it's weird because I feel like being in Pokemon and like flipping cards and stuff like that probably influenced me into doing that
Hmm.
because like I just have like that mindset of like, you know, the buy, the sell, the bid, the ask and everything like that. So it was like an easy transition and I love it so far. Like finance is so cool to me and
Yeah,
it's like applicable both ways, you know?
yeah.
So
That'll be interesting to see because you know the way that I grew up around finance was, I'm happy with 3% return on a stock flip or 5%, 10% return over a year, and it's slow moving, and that's what I was brought up to know and learn, and that's probably what you're being taught,
yeah,
in your
yeah.
in finance world right now. So I went from that to Pokemon, which was like 20, 50,000, 10,000% return. I'm like, this is absurd. Like, I don't know if I can go back. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know if,
agree with that.
and whether it's Pokemon or something else, I'm going to itch to find just like that next thing, because if I have to watch my bank account grow by 3% over the course of
Yeah,
a
it's so
year,
boring.
I'm going to go
Like I have
nuts.
a little bit in stocks. Like I made a Robinhood account when I turned 18, just like put some money in stocks and it's like up a little bit. Like I have a tiny amount of Tesla, so that was like going, fun for a little bit. But
Yeah.
Pokemon cards are so much more fun because the amount of money that I'm working with, I'd rather put $200 into like, Pikachu promo from the Pokemon Center and like sell them for like $50 each. And it's just so much better
Yeah.
for me,
I mean,
in my
it's
opinion.
not going to last forever though. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And no one knows when that's going to stop. Because, yeah, like that was something I did earlier this year. Right? I sold out a ton of my stuff, took care of debt, took care of um, investments, and I actually put 10 grand into a trading account just to finally start learning it and understanding it. And I was like, cool, I made 2 grand in a couple months. I could have used that 10
Yeah.
grand and made 200. Like,
And that's still good. Like this year was like better than average. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like if you bought at the bottom of the market, then like
Hmm.
that's good money. So like the small $2,000 that was boring for you, that's like as good as it gets, pretty much.
Right,
So it
right.
just puts it into perspective.
Yeah. So I gotta figure that one out. I either just
Yeah,
gotta, I mean, like my recent guest, Pokemon Master 556 Jeff. He's cashing out to a big point, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, and at that point, when you start messing with the stock game, it makes a lot more sense because
yeah,
that 5%'s a lot bigger
yeah.
than what if you're messing with $10,000. So, um,
Yes.
yeah, it's all this kind of this mind shift, this mindset that you have to shift around, um, to get comfortable with what you're doing, because if you can take $1 million and play around on the stock market on a yearly basis and get yourself 50 grand a year to live off of, that's fantastic. But
Yeah.
you can't really do that when you're messing with 10 grand. So, um, yeah, play the riskier game, get the higher rewards, and hopefully set yourself up for what you're going to be learning in this finance world that you're taking on.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely a very valuable tool, understanding the stock market. Because there's other ways, obviously, to make more money in the stock market than just like buying and selling stocks, and that's just something that I haven't taken into depth yet. But
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Well, yeah, you got
Yeah.
anything else, man? What else we got?
Um, Shoot. I don't know. I kind of talked about all the things that I was like rehearsing in my head earlier. I talked about, my friends growing up.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing that I can talk about now is that some of my friends are actually starting to get back into Pokemon. Like
Okay.
people my age that I went to high school with.
Yeah.
They've been like contacting me like, hey, and at first it was troubling because it was all this year. And when you think like, oh, new collectors coming in this year, what is it? It's flippers and stuff like that. People that are just here to make money.
Hmm.
And I was like, they're buying like Vivid Voltage packs. I'm like, that's not a good investment because it's on the shelves at every Walmart in the country. And
Yeah.
they're like, no, 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 I'm just buying it because I like it. And I was like, really?
Hmm.
Because I didn't expect that. They always made fun of me kind of for liking Pokemon. And I mean, it's whatever. But
Yeah.
like when we were in high school still, but now they're just like, yeah, I just bought these cards because they're cool. And I was like, wow, like I was, happy about it because there are people and they're buying, old stuff, new stuff, Japanese, English. I'm
Hmm.
trying to show them like everything so that they're not just doing the same like English thing over and over again, like people get stuck in. I'm like, here, look at these Japanese promos. But yeah, like there's a lot, like probably like 4 or 5, even 6 of my friends are, getting back
Really?
into it. And it's pretty interesting
Yeah.
for
All
me.
my friends asking me about it are in it for the money. So that's
That's
another.
what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's what it turned out for
Yeah.
me. So Yeah.
Maybe there is, like we were talking about at the beginning, like the Gen 4, seeing that jump up. Maybe those are the collectors that are going to have nostalgia, because I collected with them when I was a kid. So, maybe
Yeah.
not a bad idea,
That could happen. We're going to have to look into that after this. Definitely
Yeah.
something I'll be doing because, no, that's one great aspect of this podcast is I usually get to find something that might have potential opportunity. So that's the thing that I'll be looking at after this, and I'll see what's out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here, man. I really appreciate you hopping on the show and sharing your story and sharing your face with the world, because you said this is the first time you're showing your face.
Yeah, true.
But it's always a pleasure talking with you in E4 and
Yeah,
having you in voice
absolutely.
and all that. So
Me too.
really great getting to know you, and I'm sure we'll be crossing paths again soon. But everybody go follow this guy on Instagram. He's got like 6 posts. Miracle
Yeah,
_ grow. He's got some cool shoes too. But
I do that too.
oh, well, there you go. So if you want some shoes and Pokemon cards, hit him up. But like, subscribe, do all the fun things that you can do to help get my podcast more views and out there for the world. So thank you again, Troy, and we'll talk soon.
For sure, for sure. Thank you for having me.